Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Kamala Harris has officially secured the Democratic nomination as the 2024 candidate for the office of presidency in the United States. That happened on Friday afternoon when she received the majority of votes from the party's delegates. Voting had started yesterday on Thursday, August 1st. I record this on Friday, August 2nd. The DNC wanted to complete the nomination process before August 7th. And for those of you who remember, Ohio, the state, was being a bunch of about it, saying, because I think the Democratic primary or their national convention was like August 11th, which was about 4 or 5 days after Ohio's arbitrary cutoff date as to when parties had to announce their presidential candidates. So they were threatening to keep Biden at the time off of the ballot because he wasn't named as the Democratic candidate. It wouldn't have been for a few days after after Ohio's deadline passed. Now, there was some talk that the Democrats would try and work with the Republicans, but the Republicans, who have worked with both parties since 2010 or so, when this law went into effect, chose not to work with the Democrats anymore on this. They dug their heels in, because that's where we are these days. So, part of it was kind of like they wanted to steal the thunder from the DNC. It was going to be, at the time, it was presumptive. It was going to be, of course, Biden's going to be the nominee. There's nobody running against him. Why are you being such dicks about it? All right, well, and how things have changed. But Harris is now the nominee, so Ohio can go take a long walk off a short pier, and they can now print up their ballots and feel all good about themselves. And we're going to look at the energy around Kamala Harris getting the nomination. Who do we have here? I guess the other part to add is that she has a rally that she is talking at next Tuesday, and it is expected that she will announce her VP candidate prior to that rally. Likely this weekend, I would guess, is when she's going to nominate her candidate. Now, my brother and I did a series of readings on the Twin Tarot channel with Gary and David. Go check it out. I should pause the camera and get my purple pimp hat. And we threw on bold choices. We threw on sort of, conservative traditional choices. And then we took the two candidates that got the best ratings, or the three candidates that had the best readings, and did a head-to-head with those and came up with our suggested winner. Tim Walz was not, we didn't know about him, so he was not included on that. I may do a reading with Gary that we'll put up probably Saturday, if possible, if we're going to have our winning candidate versus Tim Walz, to see if that head-to-head changes anything. But we have our candidate. If you want to check it out, check out the Twin Tarot with Gary and David and enjoy the fun, the hilarity and the shenanigans. But for this one, come on down. Kamala Harris is now the Democratic National Convention Democratic nominee for the 2024 presidential election. What is the energy around this? Four of Swords. Interesting. It's subdued, because normally the big celebration happens at the convention when you're formally announced, and so this has that same vibe of Biden winning in 2020, and we didn't even get really a day to really celebrate it because Trump was saying the election was stolen, and they were filing all these court cases and challenges in court saying the election was rigged, so on and so forth. So it's kind of an anticlimactic event. But to be honest, we've had the enthusiasm for the past week or more. from when Biden announced that he was not going to run to Kamala Harris coming out as the presumptive lead, and in the basically the whirlwind 10 days, 12 days that have happened since then. So, yeah, it was kind of a foregone conclusion, and then the delegates started lining up behind her. So we've known for a while this was going to happen. So now we're just in the formality stage. How interesting. Oh, my goodness, how interesting. Okay, this reading's about to take a really different turn here. The energy around this, there were forces in the Democratic Party that pushed Biden out. And that seems to be more and more documented. I believe there was a quote from Nancy Pelosi, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it's out there saying, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And Biden opted to step down, but you're going to give Kamala Harris a chance. Whether he went around them and got Kamala in there, or if they negotiated, let Kamala have first crack on it, give her X number of days to get the folks behind her, and if she takes off, go with her. If not, then you can have your open convention. And there were a number of people that wanted an open convention and probably did not want to be stuck with Kamala Harris. But they're kind of the kingmakers, and the king was offering them a deal to step down, making their life easier, and the only thing they had to do was give Kamala half a chance. And here we are. In the past, we got the Nine of Coins. She has been successful in the political aspects of her life. I would say all aspects of her life, but I don't know her whole life, so that might be a little bit presumptuous of me. But for, in the 58, 59 years she's been on this planet, she's done remarkably well. She has been a district attorney in San Francisco, attorney general for California, a senator, U.S. senator for California, and a vice president. That's what I would call a pretty darn successful political career. And now she's the nominee for the President of the United States in 2024, the first woman of color, as Mr. Harrison quoted here, to be nominated for this. Current situation is the burden card. She's done a lot of heavy lifting to get where she is, and she had to overcome some political forces that were probably going to accommodate wealthy donors. Because that was the other thing. She had to prove herself. The wealthy donors came in with the money. It's just an interesting combo, because you don't normally associate the devil card with the Democrats. But it's politics, and that's what it is. Now the heavy work does. We've got less than 100 days to go for the election. You got to get the heavy lifting done here. It's go time. Overarching energy is the Seven of Wands. Where Biden might have been tired and trying to work on it, she's got the energy to fight. Again, she's got 20 years youth on Joe Biden, and that's a big 20 years between the two of them. We're not talking like a 15-year-old and a 35-year-old for energy. We are talking a woman who is approaching 60 and a man who's beyond 80. Big energy level differences there. The lesson to be learned. How interesting. The Five of Cups. Disappointments that you don't get everything you want. Again, there could have been that accommodation for the wealthy donors and wanting to have an open system. And I believe Obama even wanted an open primary, but I think that would have been an absolute disaster. This avoids a disaster in the DNC during their convention, especially if there were a couple of viable candidates. How do you choose? So I think some people are, she proved herself, and they're like, we were kind of hoping we'd be able to nominate our own person. Yeah, well, maybe next time, Poindexter. It's not going to be this time. outcome is the Five of Swords. It's winner takes all, and she's got the nomination, she's got the delegates, she's got the money coming in, and I like Biden. I think Biden did a great job. I don't like the situation that evolved that forced Biden out. To me, it just seemed really, really unfair, and I have a really strong sense of fairness. I don't think he was treated well. That being said, I think Kamala Harris, I thought Biden would beat Trump. I think Kamala Harris will really beat Trump. I mean, Kamala Harris is the type that might cause Trump to actually try and work out a deal where he doesn't have to run, where he can negotiate pardons or commutations or something like that on his sentences. I'm parroting something I heard Anthony Scaramucci. Remember the Mooch? He was Donald Trump's spokesperson for like all of 10 days, and he was just over the top. He was being interviewed, and he was saying, I have no information on this. This is just me understanding Donald Trump as a person. He says, Trump basically, 3 things motivate him to be the president. 1, stay out of prison. 2, he can make a lot of money. And 3, he likes the prestige. He doesn't actually want to do the job, but those are kind of the 3 motivators for him. And if he was suggesting that Trump may offer to drop out of the election if he can negotiate, not having to go to prison for the New York trial, not having to go to prison for the Mar-a-Lago documents case, and not having to, working out some deal or something like that so he doesn't have to face charges in Georgia for the RICO case. I would imagine the January 6th case should be in there somewhere too, because the Supreme Court gave him immunity. So, we might... It'll be interesting to watch, and I'll probably throw on that one. It'll be interesting to watch to see what happens with Trump as August moves on, and Kamala Harris announces her VP pick probably this weekend, how Trump and the Republicans respond to it. This could be interesting. Okay, so Kamala is our DNC. She's a Democratic candidate. What's the energy on the presidential election with Kamala and Trump? Now that we have our candidates, how is this impacting the election here? All right, start off. Foundation, 10 of Cups. I'm going to be really, really biased here. When I say America is going to be celebrating the outcome of this election, I imagine childless cat ladies everywhere will be rejoicing. Why? Because they don't have these kids they have to worry about. They have cats. Crossed with the Empress. I would not describe Donald Trump as as somebody who's taking care of people in their need. Sorry, quick pause. Michelle messaged me here. People are happy, and we've got a president, the president-elect, who's out there meeting everybody's needs. This is not the lazy, entitled person. This is the person that's going to make your life easier. Underneath it all, even though we've got this, there's this. There's going to be basically Kamala Harris is going to win the election, and then let the games begin with the election fraud and the stolen election, and it was rigged, and Hugo Chavez rigged voting machines, and Cesar Chavez came back from the dead with Hugo Chavez because they're related because they both have the name Chavez or something like that. Just the normal stuff that we got to see. Now the difference is, and this is not to make it too much light of it, is that I guess one of the things some of the Republicans counties they have some folks in the counties that are threatening not to count the ballots or basically not certify the election results, and then throw it in turmoil so that state doesn't have its electors sorted so that they could be ignored, giving it to Trump. So you can imagine these are going to be battleground states where the major cities are blue. And then they get some election officials that won't count those votes. That's I haven't read up too much on it, but that's kind of the vibe of one of the dirty tricks that they're kind of that the GOP and the dirty tricksters in there are trying to get up to. I don't think that will withstand the court system, though. I think the courts will step in quickly and rule on that. I don't think many state Supreme Courts are going to tolerate that kind of behavior. Maybe I'm hopeful. I'd be too hopeful. In the past, I got the Chariot. Things progressing forward. What's Kamala Harris's tagline? We're not going back. Things are going forward. Even got Kamala Harris's tagline in here. Current situation. It's a new day. A new type of leadership. We are not going back. We're not going backwards. We're moving forwards. And we're going to have a new start, a new day. And again, you'll have some court cases that are being brought forward. There's going to be a process going through. But Trump and company do not own the White House. They don't own the executive branch. They don't have the levers of power. So they can't mess with this election like they did with the last one. The lesson to be learned is the drunken hillbilly brawl card, because there ain't no brawl like a hillbilly brawl. There's going to be a lot of fighting. There's going to be a lot of arguing and bickering and mayhem and posturing and chest thumping and, Trump boats with flags and Trump truck convoys and, people with their Stop the Steal flags and the whole weirdness that is the MAGA movement. They're going to be loud and unbelieving that their candidate lost. And there's going to be a lot of commotion as Trump and team try and cast this election in doubt. The outcome is going to be the Four Swords. We will go through it. The election's in November. You got all of November, all of December, and a couple weeks in January that we're going to go through this. Basically, let it play itself out. There are very intelligent people, a lot of lawyers and legal minds that are going to work through this and get us to January where the electoral counts are certified. Will there be a delay in it? I doubt it. I could see where the Republicans would want to delay it because then Mike Johnson would be the leader of the country because it would go to... Actually, no, that's not true. That's not true. Congress, I was about to say that the House leader is, they're third in line. You have the president, you got the vice president, and the leader of the House. If the president and the vice president aren't sworn in, the country leadership goes to the House. And I said Mike Johnson, but that's only if the Republicans maintain their majority. If the Democrats get the House, and I do believe they will, that would mean Hakeem Jeffries would be in charge. So I think there's going to be a lot of this, but we're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. And everything's going to be fine. It's just, there's just going to be some drama. It's August. It's beginning of August 2nd here. And we've got another 3 months before the election and about another 5 months before the new administration is sworn in. So breathe. Take care of yourself. We'll get through it. Thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.